Thiruchitrambalam, Hara Hara Namah Parvati Padaye, Hara Hara Mahadeva, Sitsavesa, Sivasidambaram, Tenarude Sivane Potri, Yanatavarkum Reva, Potri, Thiruchitrambalam, Yedukkum Makkadai Indamil Chayulai, Nadakum Mainmain, Namakkarul Saidira, Tadake, Indudai, Tal Sevi Nilmudi, Kadakalitrai, Karatul Irtuam. உலகலாம் உணர்ந்து ஓதற்கரியவன் நிலபுலாவிய நிர்மலி வேணியன் அலகில் சோதியன் அம்பலத்து ஆடுவான் மலர் சிலம்படி வாழ்த்தி வணங்குவான். சைவத்தின் மேற்சமயம் வேறிலை அதில் சிவமாம் தெய்வத்தின் தெய்வம் இல்லனும் நான்மறை செம்பொருள் வாய்மை வைத்த திருத்தேவாரமும் திருவாசகமும் உய்வை தரச் செய்த நால்வர் பொற்றாள் எம்முயிர் துணையே. தில்லைவாழந்தனரை முதலாக சீர்படைத்த தொல்லையதாம் திருத்தொண்ட தொகைடியார் பதம் போற்றி உலையவர் புராணகரி புலகரிய விரித்து உரைத்த செல்வமலை குன்றத்தூர் செக்குழாரடி போற்றி. ஆதாரமாகிய மாணிக்க வாசகர் பாதார விந்தம் அடைவோம். பண்டு செய்த தீதான பாவங்கள் எல்லாம் தீர்ந்து ஞானோதயம் வந்து கூட்டிடுமே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Dear devotees, welcome back to the Periyapuranam Discourse series. Today we are here to think through the part 3 of Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal Puranam. So Upper Swamigal right now, he was in Tiradihi during the last class, and then Upper Swamigal was doing pilgrimage across many Shiva temples around Tiradihi, and then he reached Thirunavukkarasu. It's also called Tungane Madam. So Tungane Madam was also got the song from Thirunavukkarasu Swami, wonderful temple, Sudakulindiswarar, and the goddess name is Alagiya Kadaliyamai. In this temple, Upper Swamigal requested to the Lord of Tungane Madam to mark his body with the holy Shaiva holy symbols of Shiva, which is Trishul and Rishabham. It's a practice. Ever since Upper Swami requested this and he got the symbols through Shivaganas, it has become a practice in Shaivism to take to tattoo the Rishabham, Trishul and Rishabham on our hands. This is Rishabham, this is Trishul. You could see a lot of Shiva devotees doing the same. So Upper Swamigal composed a wonderful padigam. We have not got all the songs of that padigam. We have got only few songs of that padigam, and requested the Almighty Lord Shiva to mark his body with the Trishul and Rishabham. And the reason he asked for that, he said, Kutram vandu koipadam. He wanted to have the symbols on his body before, just to get rid of Emabaya, the afraid of Emma Dharmaraja. So Budaga, after he completed the padigam, he was sleeping. Shivakarannadas from Kailash came to Tungane Madam and marked the symbols of Sulam and Rishabham on his two shoulders. And when he woke up and he saw the symbols, then he was extremely happy and prayed to the Almighty Lord Shiva and praised the glory of Shiva. Then Upper Swamigal further reached Thiruchitrambalam, part of his pilgrimage. He felt very thrilled to the core. He shed copious tears of joy and devotion. The bells on the feet of the idol seemed to dance. The hands of the idol seemed to gesture to him. He sang many, many beautiful padigams in praise of Lord Nataraja. One song I would like to mention here, which is Thiruthondagam. Thiruthondagam, the Chekla Swamigal says, Ariyanai endreduthe, it's a phrase from Periyapuranam. Ariyanai endreduthe adiyavarukku eliyanai avartam sindai பிரியாத பெரிய திருத்தாண்டக செந்தமிழ் ஆடி. பிறங்குசோதி விரியான் என்று புலகு விளங்கிய பொன்னம்பலத்து மேவி ஆடல் புரியான் என்று தம்மை பணிந்து தமிழால் பின்னும் போற்று செய்வார். He praised the Lord using the holy language Tamil, and he composed a song called Periyapuranam, which starts with Ariyane Andanattam Sindayane. If you are a true devotee of Lord Shiva, this song will never ever leave your heart. It will always be in your heart. Adivattam Sindai Piriyada Periya Thirutandaga Sindavil. Wonderful song. Praise Raja through the song of Upper Swami, Thiruchitrambalam. Ariyanai Andanatam Sindayanai அருமறையின் அகத்தானை அணுவை யார்க்கும் தெரியாத தத்துவனை தேனை பாலை திகழொளியை தேவர்கள் தம் கோணை மற்றை கரியானை நான்முகனை கனலை காற்றை கனை கடலை குலவரையை கடந்து நின்ற பெரியானை பெரும்பற்ற புலியூரானை பேசாத நாளெல்லாம் பிறவா நாளே பெரியானை பெரும்பற்ற புலியூரானை பேசாத நாளெல்லாம் பிறவா நாளே. Which means if you don't price the lotus feet of Thillai Chitrambala Kutha Peruman, that day is not counted for your age. So if you live for 60 years, the actual age is counted based on the number of days we price the feet of the Thiruchitrambalam, the Raja Peruman. What a wonderful song, devotees. We must recite this song. Every Shiva devotee must do that, because the Shekla Swami says it should never ever leave from the heart of Shiva devotees. So Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal worshipped the Perungutha Peruman, and then he went to Narayur, which is close to Thillai as well. He praised Playar and also praised the Lord of the Narayur. Then he heard about Peruman, Puramaritta Tirumaganar, Parasamaya Kolari Palaravair, Gomathinayagam Swami, Upper Swami, first time hearing about the fame of Thirunavukkarasu Swami. There was a 3-year-old kid was crying on the bank of Brahmatitham of Srihari temple, and the Lord Almighty Shiva and Goddess Parvati came all the way from Kailash, and then Parvati gave him the milk, and he started singing Thordesavin Tirupatiyam, and the kid, 3 years old kid, was praising the Lord. The Thirunavukkarasu Swami heard about it. The moment he heard about it, Upper Swami said, I wanted to go and worship the feet of the great Adiyar. Upper Swami was 80 years old. He's a 3-year-old baby. Think about it. See, when it comes to Shaivism, age doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter. It's the sthana which matters. So he learned about Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal, and then he wanted to go to Shirhali. He went to Shirhali. He paid his obeisance to the great Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal, who in turn addressed him with the greatest title, Appar. We always refer to Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal as Upper Swamigal. 80% we address Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal as Upper Swamigal in Shaiva world, which is this name was given by Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal. So Thirunavukkarasu, who was much older than Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal, replied, Adiye, the two great saints of Samaya Kuravar, Shaiva Samaya Kuravar, and worship the Almighty Lord Shiva together. They praise the glory of Shiva in many, many padigams, sweeter than the sweetest honey. So Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal stayed in Sirgali for some more days, and his padigam filled the hearts of the listeners with bliss. And later, both Upper Swamigal and Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal continued the pilgrimage and reached Tirukolaka. Tirukolaka is where Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal got that musical instrument from the Lord of Kolaka, Talabrishwara, and the sound was given by Osai Koduthanai. So they went to Kolaka, and then Upper Swamigal composed a wonderful padigam in Kolaka. And then Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal returned to Shirhali. Upper Swamigal continued his pilgrimage. Now, Upper Swamigal has reached the wonderful temple of Shiva in Thiruchitrambalam. In Shaktimuttram, Upper Swamigal prayed to Lord Shiva to plant his lotus feet on his head. Before Yama comes and takes his soul, he said, "Kutram vandu kumaippadan mun puvar tichuvodu kurittuvai." Before the Yama comes and throws his pasakairu, which is called the rope, to take my soul out, please give your lotus feet, mark your lotus feet on my head. Then Lord Shiva commanded Appar Swami to come to Tirunallur. Nalluri Baba. Don't delay. Come to Nallur. I will give you what you want. And then Appar Swamigal went to Tirunallur. Nallur is a wonderful, wonderful temple, had a great history. And whenever we say Nallur, it should recall one of the 63 Nayanmars, Emperor Amarnidi Nayanar, who went to Kailash from Nallur. The Lord from Kailash came from Kailash to Nallur and played a holy prank, and then blessed Amarnidi and his family and took him back to Kailash. So Nallur is such a wonderful temple. And Thirunavukkarasu in Nallur, he said, the Lord has two places to stay. When he is in north, he will stay in Kailash. When he is in south, he will stay in Nallur. Vadabal Kailayum, Tenpa Nallurum, Tampalpudiye. He has recorded that in his spectrum. Then he came here, and then Upper Swami was praying to Lord Shiva of Nallur. Swami, you said you would give me your lotus feet and plant it on my head. And then, as the Lord said, Lord of Nallur planted his lotus feet on the head of Upper Swami as requested by him in Tirunallur. Upper Swami also mentioned that in his beautiful Tamil, beautiful Tiruthandakam, Thiruchitrambalam. நினைந்துருகும் அடியாரை நைய வைத்தார், நில்லாமே தீவினைகள் நீங்க வைத்தார், சினந்திருகு களிற்றுரிவை போர்வை வைத்தார், செழுமதியின் தளிர் வைத்தார் சிறந்து வானோர், இனந்துருவி மணிமகுடத்தேர துற்ற இனமலர்கள் போத விழுந்து மதுவாய் பில்கி, நனைந்தனைய திருவடியன் தலைமேல் வைத்தார், நல்லூரம் பெருமானார் நல்லவாரே. Thiruchitrambalam. Devas come and worship the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. And when they worship the Lord with their crown, and they take their head, and some of the flowers also got stuck along with that crown, and the flower gave their honey back to the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva feet in Nallur is full of honey, and he wanted to give that Tiruvadi Diksha to Upper Swami. This is called Tiruvadi Diksha, literally marking his feet on the head of his devotee. Lord Shiva gave Sundaramurti Swami Tiruvadi Diksha in Sittavadamata, close to Tirudihai. Lord Shiva gave Brahmanshi Manikasigal Swami Tiruvadi Diksha in Tirupandurrai. Lord Shiva gave Upper Swami Tiruvadi Diksha in Tirunallur. So Upper Swami enjoyed worshipping the Lord of Nallur, and he stayed there for some more time. And then he went to Thirutingalur, which is where one of the great 63 Nayanmars, Appudi Nayanar, lived. Appudi Nayanar was an ardent devotee of Thirunavukkarasu. Appudi Nayanar saw Thirunavukkarasu as his guru. Ever since he heard about Thirunavukkarasu, he kept him as his guru. He never met him. He just heard about his fame, and he became an ardent devotee of Thirunavukkarasu, worshiping him as his guru. He named everything as Thirunavukkarasu. He gave his two children Thirunavukkarasu name. He named his cow, everything else, his house, and all the services that he was doing, all named by Thirunavukkarasu. We will talk about Appudiyar story in detail when we discuss Appudi Nayanar Puranam. But Long story short, Abhinayana that had a great Guru Bhakti and respect for Upper Swami. When Upper Swami came to Tingulur, Apudinayanar welcomed him and then he wanted to have a feast in his house. Upper Swami agreed, but by the time Upper Swami went through Tingalur temple and came back his home, his son was died. A snake bit him. Abhidharma tried to hide that, but the truth came to light that the eldest son was killed and he actually died of a snake bite. And then, with the divine grace of Lord Shiva, Upper Swamigal was able to resurrect him. And that was an amazing wonder. Not everyone has done that. He brought him back to his life. Um, People were happy, everybody was happy, but Abhinayana felt bad because he interrupted Upper Swamigal pilgrimage. So we will talk about that in detail. But long story short, Upper Swamigal Upper Swamigal sang a song, wonderful song, Vandravalam Tirupati Tingalur, and he was able to resurrect Mutta Thirunavukkarasu, bringing back to his life. Upper Swamigal continued his pilgrimage and reached Thiruvarur. Thiruvarur, a wonderful holy city. It's Thiruvarur is Shivarajdhani. Upper Swamigal has composed many Tirupatiyams in Thiruvarur, a lot of Tirthandahams. When you get a chance, you must explore them. Upper Swamigal continued his Ulavarapani as well in Thiruvarur, and then he was heading to Tirupugalur. He reached Tirupugalur, and the border of Tirupugalur, Thirugnana Swami was in Tirupugalur when Upper Swamigal was heading his way to Tirupugalur from Thiruvarur. Then Thirugnana Swami came to the border of Tirupugalur to give a warm welcome to Upper Swamigal. Upper Swamigal also reached the border of Tirupugalur. Thirugnana Swami said, Appare Ganayapparum Peraludayam, I was so blessed to have you here. How did you worship the great Thiruvadurai festival in Thiruvarur? He asked him. Then Upper Swami replied to him the wonderful Thiruvadurai Padikam, the Chittambalam. Muttu Vidana Manipurkavari Murayale Pattargalodu Pavaya Sula Balipinne Vittaka Kola Ventalai Malai Viradigal Attanarur Adirai Nalal Aduvannam. The Chittambalam, like that, he composed a wonderful Padiyam of 10 songs and explained how Thiruvarur looked like during the day of Thiruvadurai festival, which tempted Thirugnana Swamigal to worship Arul Peruman. He came to welcome Upper Swamigal, but after listening to the Padiyam of Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal, Thirugnana Peruman decided to go and worship Thiruvarur Puchidamutta Peruman. And he said, Upper Swamigal, please go ahead and worship Tirupugulu Peruman. I'm going to head to Thiruvarur, worship the Lord of Thiruvarur, then we'll come back and join you in Tirupugulu, he said. Thirugnana Swami left for Thiruvarur. Upper Swami came to Tirupugulu. He composed a lot of Padiyams in Tirupugulu. He was staying in the mud of Brahman Muruganayana. I think one of the wonderful things happened here is Muruganayana mud, several key Nayanmars were at the same time worshipping Lord. Muruganayana constructed a mud in Tirupugallur just to serve the devotees of Lord Shiva. Upper Swamigal now staying with Muruganayana. Thirugnana Sambandha Perumal completed his worship in Thiruvarur and then he headed back to Tirupugallur. Trinilakanta Yalpana Nayanar was always with Thirugnana Sambandha Perumal. So we have Muruganayana, Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal, Thirugnana Sambandha Perumal, Trinilakanta Yalpana Nayanar. As these four Nayanmars are at the same place, which is Muruganayana, holy mud, Siruthonda Nayanar, an ardent devotee of Thirugnana Sambandha Perumal, also came and joined them. And also Thirunavukkarasu Nayanar from Sande Ayavandi an ardent devotee of Thirunavukkarasu, he also came and joined them. So there were 6 Nayanmars at the same month, at the same time. And what they would have done, the Chitla Swami explains to us devotees what we should be doing when we get together with fellow Shiva devotees. திருப்பதிக செழுந்தமிழின் திறம்போற்றி பொறுப்பரையன் மடப்பாவை இடப்பாகர் பொற்றாளில் விருப்புடைய திருத்தொண்டர் பெருமையினை விரித்து உரைத்து அங்கு ஒருப்படு சிந்தையினார்கள் உடனுறைவின் பயன் பெற்றார். When Shiva devotees get together, we should be praising the Almighty Lord Shiva, nothing else. So the 6 Nayanmars were at the same place, and they were praising the greatness of Tirupadiyam, of Thirunavukkarasu and Thirunavukkarasu. They're praising the services of the Nayanmars, and they're praising the Lord, the grace of Lord Shiva. They're praising. That's all they did. So we learn from our Nayanmar when we get together with Shiva devotees, because if you get a chance to get with a Shiva devotee for a few minutes, it's a big boon. It's a big boon. Most of the time, we always, interface with the worldly people who don't worship Lord Shiva. But when you get a chance to meet, be with some Shiva devotees, it's usually a few minutes or sometimes a few hours, and that hour should be made to praise the Almighty Lord Shiva, not for anything else. That was the moral of the story. And then they stayed there for some more time, and then Samuel and Thirunavukkarasu wanted to continue their pilgrimage. They went to Tiruveli together. Tiruveli, a wonderful, amazing temple of Lord Shiva, Tiruveli. Velinath Sivam, Andramannai, Sundarakujambigai, Sameta Sri Velinath Swami temple. And when Thirunavukkarasu and Thirunavukkarasu went to Tiruveli, and a wonderful thing happened. A wonderful thing happened. They were praying to Lord Shiva. They composed a lot of padigams, and Thirunavukkarasu stayed in the northeast side of the temple from the mud, in the mud, and Upper Swamigal stayed in the northwest side of the temple with his devotees. And during that time, all of a sudden, a big drought came. People started serving for food during this time when Paramacharyas were in Tiruveli. No one could eat food. Even vegetarians become non-vegetarians at that time. The food habit changed because of the heavy drought. People were dying, a lot of things happened, and then suffering. The devotees who came with Upper Swami and Thirunavukkarasu started suffering as well. And then both Paramacharyas were so worried. They prayed to the Lord of Tiruveli Swami. And then they slept one day. They're thinking, how can it be those who surrendered themselves into the lotus feet of Lord Shiva, suffering still? Lord Shiva, please bless us. They went to sleep. Shiva appeared on their dream and said, it's due to the karma. The world had to face this suffer at this time. But I don't want any of the devotees that follow you to suffer. But I know you could manage any difficult circumstances, both of you. But I'm going to give you a coin, Periyapuranam, to both of you until the drought goes away. So Thirunavukkarasu, you will get the coin on the east beta of Tiruveli temple. Upper Swami will get the coin in the west beta. Beta means Balipita of Tiruveli temple. And they woke up and they felt, both of them discussed. The Lord came in a dream, and then they went there. They could see the coin. gave by Nayanar. Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal took the coin from the east beat, and Upper Swamigal took the coin from the west beat. And now imagine the whole world was starving. There was no one to, because of no rain, nothing. So when there was no rain, nothing, who can give food even if you have money? Then Swami himself came as a chettiar, and um, he found a new shop, and that had all the fruits, general medicines needed to make food. Then they gave the padikasu, and Swami gave them everything they needed to prepare food. Um, Upper Swamigal, when we do Maheshwara Puja for Shiva devotees, it should be done prior to 12 p.m., which is called not Kuru, not Kuru. Upper Swamigal Mud Maheshwara Puja was happening as planned, but Trinyasana Swami Mud, it was getting delayed until 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Then Trinyasana Swami asked, why is it getting delayed to serve lunch for devotees? Then Trinyasana Swami devotees replied, Swami, if we take the coin of yours and give it to the merchant, he says, our coin is not a good coin. But when the devotees of the Nagar Swami gave him the coin, he was a smiling face, he accepted the coin, he gave them everything he wanted, he prioritized them. So that's why it's getting delayed. Then Trinyasana Swami realized, okay, because Upper Swami is doing Kaituritundu, services using his hand, he's getting the good coin. So we need to serve the Lord furthermore by reciting another padikam. And he went to Thiruvilmille Swami. Sannidhi, then he composed a wonderful song. Chitrambalam Vasi Tirave Kasu Nalgivir Masil Milalayir Yesal Yillaye. Chitrambalam, he completed that song. And then Lord gave him the good coin this time. And then they went back to merchant. The merchant happily gave him everything they needed to prepare the food. And when I went to Thiruvilmille temple, I heard that from the senior Sivacharyas. When Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal and Thirunavukkarasu Swamigal were here during the drought period, they were the line of when they serve food, they form a line, right? And a lot of devotees would sit in one line and the second line. The line was set up for several kilometers from Thiruvilmille. From Thiruvilmille temple to another small village called Andarpandi. That's another 2-3 kilometers. So the line, the food line was 2-3 kilometers. Do you think a human being can handle that? No one can handle it. So Lord Shiva sent Sivaganas from Kailash to help the Nagaswami and the Nyansanga Swami to prepare the food, serve the devotees. And they, during that time, they literally saw the suffer being caused by the drought, and then things changed. It started raining, life became normal, and then Thiruvilmille Swami stopped giving the coin to the Nagar Swami and the Nyasan Swami. They continued their pilgrimage to Thirumarekkadu. The Nagar Swami and the Nyasan Swami went to Thirumarekkadu. Another amazing thing happened in Thirumarekkadu. We will discuss that in detail in the next class. Thiruchitrambalam Thirunavukkarasu Thiruthondinarivala Varinyana Davamudivar Vagisa Vaimitigal Perunama Sirparaval Uruhindrain Perulagil Urunavukkure Seyya Vanname Vanarade என்றும் இன்பம் பெருகும் இயல்பினால் ஒன்று காதலித்து உள்ளம் ஒங்கிட மன்றுளார் அடியார் அவர் வான்புகழ் நின்றது எங்கும் நிலவி உலகலாம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம் திருநின்ற சமய செம்மையா கொண்ட பெருமான் திருநாவுக்கரசு தேவ நாயனார் அடிகள் போற்றி போற்றி திருச்சிற்றம்பலம்.